I think what I'm trying to do is not, it's not been done before. It's speaking for disabilities, for mental health, for the culture, and how it all affects our day-to-day lives in a combined package. And when I said that, yes, I have it, but it doesn't change me, it doesn't change who I am. It's just there, and I'm proud of it. It makes me unique, it makes me different in a room of 10 people. And that was the first foundation of thought about disability when I was a teenager. That's why I want to support like each disability in my personal channel and in everywhere I am, everywhere I have my voice, because not to bully, because trauma is coming out from childhood about disabilities. However you look, whatever you have, it doesn't mean anything to who you are. It just adds on top of who you are. It makes you even better version of you and makes you unique and authentic, and be proud of that.
Hi everyone, I'm Camilo Torres, and welcome to Flowcast. In here, we're going to have amazing conversations with the beautiful people that has joined our community. We're going to get a lot of inspiration for their life journeys, passions, creations, because we believe that when you share your unique story, you can inspire others. So please enjoy this new Flowcast. And also, I would love to invite you to join our community. And if you would like to share your story, please go to our website, flowwithcommunity.com, for more information. Thank you. So please welcome Maria Novruzi. Hi, Maria.
Hi, Camilo.
Oh, thank you so much for being here and being part of Flow community. And it's a pleasure. I think we met 2 weeks ago, and it was
Yes.
very nice. And I think this is wonderful. And thank you so much for being here.
Oh, thank you for having me. And I think there are no coincidences in life. So the reason we've met is probably it has a big value for others as well, not just for us. And thank you for creating such an occasion where we can expand this value out of just out of just a dialogue of two people to help to reach much more individuals in London, to inspire with your project. I don't know if I structured the sentence right, but
No, this is perfect. And now and then I can't wait to share your story and learn from
thank
it.
you.
And yeah, let's get started. I think well, we met, and then
Yeah,
one of the things I wanna say, you say I ask you where are you from,
yeah.
and I wanna repeat that question, and then I'll let you know why.
I'm from Azerbaijan, Baku.
Okay, so Azerbaijan, I when I met you, I didn't know where it was.
Mhm.
I didn't know what it was. So I would like to let everyone knows where is this country. I already know. I have my research already, but then I would love you to listen it from you.
I'm glad I have one more tick because I love when someone who doesn't know where it is, and which is very normal because people from not from the border countries, they and from America, from Latin America, from especially from far continents, they heard about it, but they don't know about it. So I love to share it, and thank you for asking me about it, and thank you for searching. I'm from Baku, Azerbaijan, which is located in Caucasus, in the coast of Caspian Sea. Baku is the capital of Azerbaijan. Azerbaijan used to be a part of former Soviet Union, and we've got our independence in 91, 92. And since that, Azerbaijan is independent, independent country with independent democracy. So Azerbaijan is officially Muslim country, and but it's not as it's Muslim, but it's really open to the world. So our religion doesn't affect our lifestyle, because maybe some Muslim countries are really they have different aspects of religion and it affects their like way of living. Azerbaijan has so much influence from Europe and Russia and Turkey that's why it's a mix of everything. It's a mix of religions, mix of traditions, mix of mentality, and by getting things from outside, influenced by getting the influence, we've created our own uh, niche in Baku, in Azerbaijan, in Ganja, in all the cities, and that's what makes us unique, I think, because the one of the other reasons why people don't know much and can't relate, because it's hard to relate Azerbaijani people or Azerbaijan to any other country. It's not. People ask me frequently, is it like Russia because we speak Russian as well, but we have our first language, which is Azerbaijani, or is it like Turkey? But it's not. It just got influence, but it created its own path.
Great,
Yeah,
nice. Thank you. This is a really nice introduction, and I can't wait to go and visit. And
please.
now I know you. Well,
Some my friends joke a lot that one day you will become ambassador of Azerbaijan in the world because I love my country, and it happens very naturally. That it's just it started. When I moved to London, I never had an thought that people are so interested to know more about it, but
mhm,
by living here for many years, I'm realizing that it's actually for me I feel like I have an impact even if it's 1,000 people, 2,000 people. I still gave something from us to the world, which means a lot for me. And even like sharing now this to you, it just I can't describe it with words.
nice. Yeah, and this is great. And thank you, and keep going that.
Thank you.
And well, with this introduction, how has been your personal journey and why you've been here in London? And yeah, I would like to know a little bit more about that. And also, I know that you're an advocate for women
Yeah.
of your country and disabilities. So yeah, I would like to know a little bit more about that.
So I moved to study to UK, and then I always had a dream since I was like 5 or 4 to change the world, to make 0 to 1. And that's always been my mindset. I don't know, I don't think yet I've changed the world, but we are all getting there. I think we are all, you, me, like people in our field who are trying to do things and follow their passion. And at the same time, these are the people who have capability to change it, to change the some settled rules and settled functions that are been going for years and years. But it's always nice to upgrade and update things. So that was my personal goal. And I love to express myself. So my expression, when I moved to London, I've been doing art. So I followed my passion in art, but my degree in my university is in business. So that always kind of motivated me to combine my creative side with my business, with my education, and with my more technical side. Because I'm coming from a background where my grandfather was an architect, and I grew up in
Mm,
artistic family. So we never had really technical like people with numbers. Like it was always about expression and creativity. But probably like in London is not really easy at the first stage to live just with creativity. You need
mm,
to have do some stuff and work somewhere. So that what brought me to pursuing my agency, like combining my creative side with business side, which was the agency which was which is still developing ideas and startups. It has a marketing side, and we are working with multiple brands, creating content for them, their marketing strategies, PR strategies, organizing events. So that's what I've been doing. But obviously, it's not always the same because I add something, I take something out from my work life, and I'm just trying to grow meanwhile. And that's why I started my personal work, my personal corporate, which is my podcast,
mhm,
Maria and Sofa. It's a voice for me, and it's a voice for me for other women from Azerbaijan, because there are not much women from Azerbaijan speaking out loud in international platforms, or even let's go very, very small on Instagram and social medias. Women from Azerbaijan are really brave, are really strong, but we just haven't got there yet where we can speak loudly. And I just wanted to be always that person. And it happened that I became first, because there is obviously we have our representative of our country, First Lady of Azerbaijan, which is a role model for each Azerbaijani woman. She has a great character and style inside and out. So after her, there have been few people, but what I think what I'm trying to do is not it's not been done before. It's speaking for disabilities, for mental health, for the culture, and how it all affects our day-to-day lives in a combined package, because they're all connected. disabilities are connected to your mental health connected to your traditions, the cultures where you come from. And at the end of the day, it's a hard work to develop all of them at the same flow,
Mhm.
because you we are human beings. We love, our brain loves comfort zone, our
Mhm.
body loves comfort zone. And I'm myself, I'm working on myself, and we've discussed that with you. You're working on yourself, we are changing. And it just needs some time, and maybe people like us who are happy to speak about it loudly can help others to make those changes.
Nice,
Yeah.
lovely, and I have seen a little bit of your podcast as well, and it's very great, and I think being the channel of those stories, of
Yes.
those experiences for a lot of people, like for example, like me, I'm Colombian,
Yeah.
and learning from you, this is wonderful, and thank you for
No.
doing that
Yeah,
space for
you're
us.
you're welcome, and I think what you do is unbelievable. And I've checked all the stories and the interviews you've done before, podcasts you've done before. It's it's really, it has a big impact, and I think like if you change 100 people's thoughts, their way of thinking, you already achieved a lot.
I think with just one
You
person,
would want,
it's
yeah.
enough. And I think this is the little thing, the energy that we give back to the world. And I think like what you're doing is amazing. Yeah. Thank
Thank
you.
you. How
Thank
to say thank you in your language?
Ah, gracias.
It's Spanish, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And how do you say thank you?
Çok
Is
sağ
it
ol.
so
Çok
Joe?
sağ ol.
Joe Saho.
Yeah.
Okay. Super.
Gracias. Çok sağ ol.
Okay, Joe Saho. Right, and what has been the biggest challenges for you for, I mean, being a woman, and I think, well, it's very interesting that your country it's like a mix
Yes.
of religion and cultures and languages. So how have been the challenges for you personally?
It's been it's, to be very honest, it's been hard, because like, even as I said, I'm coming from a Muslim background,
Mhm.
and my father is religious, and which is, he's he's been always inspiring me to like believe in, like, I've never been forced to believe in any type of religion.
Mhm.
Like, we've always been having a choice, because as I said, Azerbaijan is a very open country to everyone and each nation, each religion. But each I think the religion of the country affected the mentality of the country, because I don't want to say that women been as power as they never had that much power, but it obviously affected some small aspects as a woman, because what I wanted to do, it's been equivalent to men's work in my
Mhm.
country. So I mean, it's changing now, but before, if you go back to the past, to the history, it's always been mass work. Like in today's Azerbaijan, it's very different. But 100 years ago, in all the area where my country is located, it's been more man dominated.
Mhm.
And obviously, there's big change happening. Like, countries working on the women is we are my my country is pushing women a lot. We have so many women in parliament now, in each part of the country, in each workspace. But obviously, when you start to do something on your own, especially abroad, and especially as the one of the first from there, it's hard to bring your voice there, because there always been so much, like, people like to be related to something. That's, I feel like, most of the people like to be with the people where they're from, like to listen to the people where they're from. And to start doing something as an individual, as a individual player,
Mhm.
it's been a bit tough. Like, I had difficulties always in, sometimes people wouldn't take serious, sometimes people wouldn't take me serious for different reasons. And I always had before, like, this mechanism that I wanted to prove that, no, why you don't, like, you should. But now I don't care. Now, whatever they, if someone have their own opinion, I don't judge, I respect.
Mhm.
And it's not for me, like, I just move it to the next room. But before, I used to fight for it, like, I need to say my voice, I want to do that. I wanted to bring, by bringing my voice, I wanted to bring all girls' voice into this world, because there's still big issue with woman power going on. Maybe not in London and not in UK, but there are many places in the world. Uh, I'm glad not in my country as well that there's still woman doesn't have any power and voice. So when I started, that was my kind of war with those people who still don't support, and that was the biggest difficulty. And even today, it's a huge difficulty, and I think it's a big problem in the world that women still don't have enough voice.
Yeah. Not going too far, like in Colombia, it's of course we're very more open and everything, but then if you go even for the small towns
Yeah.
or villages, then you see the role of women that hasn't changed too much. Of course, in big cities has evolved,
Yeah.
but I think it's great what you're doing and keep doing that because I think I mean what I have learned is that we are the same species,
Yeah.
the same living species,
Yeah.
no matter what sex you are, and then we need to just live together in harmony. So yeah.
Exactly. We are at the end of the day, it's all about the soul. We are
Mhm.
all a soul, just in different genders and different bodies and different choices, which is which shouldn't create any like borders between. It's all one.
Yeah.
It's delusional. Like people just like to probably because of the positions, like a life. I feel like in the world in for decades and centuries that everything needed to be controlled, not to have any incidents, like just to have to create a peace. World needs a control, unfortunately, because not everyone can control themselves. So that's where the governments, the countries involved. But uh, that's not a reason I feel like to like it's been placed as I said one gender who been dominated just because of the control thing, because it was easier to probably because of the wars that happened. Like I'm talking about 1,000 years ago when man was really dominated, the dominative. It was physically they were more adaptable for those sceneries. But in today's world, as you said, there are no more wars. Like obviously, unfortunately, they are, but women can do everything. Female and like any person can do everything, and they don't have much differentiation. Obviously, we have different roles, different bodies, different body language, but it shouldn't affect the smaller aspects, which I think it does now. As you said, the woman's voice, being advocate for women. Like woman doesn't need even an advocate. Every woman is advocate for themselves, and that's what makes me sad that there is no male advocate, but there is female advocate.
I think it's to complement. I think freedom.
Yeah,
Like everybody deserves to be free,
everybody.
and freedom is really, it's. I mean, it's really hard to get for some people, and yeah, that's the whole point. And yeah, wonderful. I think anyway, and also one of the things that you're advocating as well is disabilities. I would like to know a little bit more about that, and yeah, tell us a little bit your
I
story.
was born with cleft palate. It's a syndrome that people are born with, but unfortunately, it's a bit hard to deal with because it requires so much like surgery and medical treatments. It's visual, and that's why some kids don't really manage to survive it because at the very early stage when the child is just born, as I said, it needs medical treatments and surgeries which are quite expensive. And in most of the parts of the world, these surgeries are not paid by government. Like in UK, NHS covers all the cleft lip syndromes because uh, if it's not made at the right time when child is born in the first 6 months, unfortunately child cannot really breathe, and there are many other I don't have really medical education, I don't want to give wrong information, but the surgery needs to be right at the time. So as I said, in UK is that's what I love about NHS and UK, that it's done and there's no discrimination between anyone, it's done to everyone equally. But in some parts of the world requires so much investment, and that's why there are foundations involved, and that's how these kids, not all of them unfortunately, but most of them learn to live with this disability and build their future. So it happens. It's not very often. It happens once in 500-600,000, and it's a disability which is just in upper lip and nose. There are different stage of cleft lip palate syndrome, but mostly it's just as you can see, I have a stitch here is been stitched, and it's just the breathing channels and the nose being structured in cosmetological surgeries from very childhood, and you do it every 2-3 years just to keep up, because there's some things that cannot be done when child is just born, because our body changed, our face changed. So it's something that you live with, and you live in the, I mean, surgery, unfortunately, surgery rooms in hospital until you are 16 to get it completely done. And I'm speaking about the good case scenario where it's been done properly. When it's not been done properly, just probably done twice, and some people can really struggle until end of their life, because it might be done once and not not the third time, not the fourth time, and it it can it can affect their day-to-day life, and that's when they grow up and become older, they forced to do cosmetological surgeries, which I have never done, because thanks to my parents, I was very lucky enough that I was the first child, and my parents and my grandparents, they invested all their time and life into this. I had no idea that I have cleft palate till I was 13. They used to tell me that I have a disability, but they grew me up, because Baku is very small, and they grew me up in such a local bubble that no one could ever tell me that you have a disability, because the school I used to go, they used to know the parents. They spoke to all parents when I went to first grade. So kids should never make a comment about it, because it was very visible. But my brain was so like I was a child, that it never thought that I have something here. Like it was crazy. I don't even know how to describe it. You grew up, but you don't know that you have such a. It's it's in a serious stage of disabilities, and I had no idea, like, till I became teenager, when I started to hear it from stranger people, like when I got out of that childish bubble. And maybe that's why I've never felt that I have one, because as I said, I have had very loving parents, and they what they did, I think it should be done to most of the kids that are born with disability, because they didn't hide it from me, but they let me to get to the stage where my brain can make a rational decision about it. And when I said that, yes, I have it, but it doesn't change me, it doesn't change who I am, it's just there, and I'm proud of it. It makes me unique, it makes me different in a room of 10 people. And that was the first foundation of thought about this disability when I was teenager, uh, which I could have had much in worst case when I would be child, if my parents wouldn't done this, like they isolated me from the world for 10 years. I was growing up like kind of on my own, because they didn't want for me hear anything. I was just with them and with my grandparents and with 5 people. So I'm thankful to them, which I got this chance to, as I said, to understand and make my own thought choice about it at certain age without having any traumas, because kids can be very harsh at schools. Like, I mean, I have lots of friends with disabilities, and they can say things, and especially probably in big cities, because I was born in a very small city for that time, and they could have kind of control it, but in big cities you can't. And that's why I want to support like each disability in my personal channel, and in everywhere I am, everywhere I have my voice, because not to bully, because traumas coming out from childhood about disabilities, and people spend so much time after just to get out of that, because when you are older than 13, it's easier for you to understand that it doesn't change who you are, it's just a visual difference. But when you're a child, you think something wrong is with you. And that's when I speak to kids which are born with cleft palate. When they look at me, they're like, "Oh, you don't have anything," because for them they think that they have the worst case scenario. They think, when I spoke to like for a few kids like in foundation in London, they think they're gonna die. they have the worst case scenarios because that's what other kids say to them. And when they see me, they're Joaquin Phoenix, the actor of he played Joker, he has it. And when they see these examples in the world, they understand that it's absolutely normal, like nothing happens. And even if you really want to get rid of, you can just, when you're 20, you can have a few cosmetical surgeries and no one will understand, especially today. But for kids, it's so hard, so hard. Like when I speak to small kids, my heart is like, just breaks to small pieces, unfortunately.
Yeah. Wow, interesting. Yeah.
And in each disability, like not just cleft palate, it's just like it's also the social medias, especially now for kids when they compare themselves. Like before, when I was born, you couldn't compare yourself to someone. As I said, I grew up really isolated, and my brain just couldn't find a version. Like we didn't have mirrors at home, so I don't see myself. We never had a mirror at home. My mom never had a lipstick because I was not allowed to eat much. We we only had liquid food at home. Like my parents, as I said, I was the entire first child in the entire family, and that's why they were scared as well because in Baku there are not much people who had this before, and doctors had no idea how to treat it. That's why we went to US for the treatments, and to Turkey, to US, and this is like that's what I want to inspire people. Like no one needs to get isolated. If we live in a world where everyone is raised with understanding of disability, no one really needs to take such a strong uh, treats for the kids, because if if kids are raised in a good way, if people are raised, not just kids, like some older
Adults
people,
as well.
unfortunately, uh, everyone can be open about the disabilities. Like because sometimes I used to when I became teenager, people used to point. Like I had disabled friends, they used to point. This is not good, and it's changing, and I'm glad it's changing. And social platforms like yours, it makes huge change. And if it's programmed now in each person's brain, it will make a huge change. Like when we had COVID, everyone used to put masks. If it's easy to make entire world change in one day, it's easy to impact their way of thinking as well. So we are very adaptable to everything, and disability should be part of society. It might be might be some disabilities that unfortunately cannot be part of the society because they can, I mean, they're fighting for more stronger things, but the disabilities that we can see in our day-to-day life and people in communities, we should accept. Like all disabilities should accept it, but I mean that the ones that we just see is not all, because they're strong, like there are other cases, but we should it should be normal. We should normalize it for everyone. And when I have my kids, when I have in future, like to all of my friends' kids, I try to teach and normalize this as a way of thinking, as having water. Yeah.
This is amazing, and I think it's what you said. Mindset is so important. I feel like it's also. I mean, your parents did it for a place of love.
Yeah.
And love comes respect, and I feel like disability shouldn't be as. I mean, as I said before, we're the same species. Some of us are very different, of course, because the species have something different, and then we need to accept everyone. We need to respect everyone and help others that can do, and if the others can't do it, so yeah, let's work together and collaborate in life.
Exactly. It's a team. It's a teamwork. If we work in it with teams and with communities, we can change this world. Like it starts from one community which built it, which you did, which I'm trying to do, which other people try. We should just uh, there should be no jealousy and competition with anyone. If you have your community, you you should like always you do inspire other people to have their own. I inspire other people to have mine. It's as much we have people like us who's trying to speak loudly and bringing together people. as better for us. Like I don't, for example, compete with anyone, and I think that's what stops bird from
Mm.
change, the competition. If we're gonna be compatible with in this case, then why we leave? They're great spaces to be compatible, compete with someone. That's why, for example, I think like this, like we watch Olympics, going on one
Sports, yeah.
sports, work maybe, but this part of the life should be open and accessible and accepted by everyone. Like there's no need for competition there. It's important to create communities. Like a small, we have a small world to create small clans everywhere. As much as they are, as much the world changes.
100%. And
Yeah,
I feel, another thing that I wanna well say is every disability is a strength for me. I feel. I think. Uh, I mean, everybody has their own little difference, right? But our mindset needs to change, and accepting who you are and accepting everything you are
yeah,
makes you so strong that anyway you will rule the world, right?
exactly,
Yeah, yeah.
exactly.
Thank you so much for sharing your story, and this is wonderful. I think I learned so much from your
You.
story, and
It's
yeah.
Thank you so much for inviting me over. As I said, when I arrived here, I looked like a different person. I cycling, but I just the last thing that I would like to add that disability is mindset as well. And
Mhm,
if we have that in our mindset, everyone is equal. Some people, just as I said, they can look different, but it doesn't change who they are.
mhm,
And to each and every person who has a disability, I just want to tell them that however you look, whatever you have, it doesn't mean anything to who you are. It just adds on
mhm.
top of who you are. It makes you even better version of you and makes you unique and authentic. And be proud of that.
Yeah.
Be proud of any disability you have, wherever you're coming from, because the 2 points that in my case been always highlighted is that I'm from Azerbaijan and I have a disability and I'm a woman in the world, and these four things like make me so strong because my I try to share and speak about disabilities with people in foundation, in front of the camera, behind the camera. We've done so much donation. We've achieved we've signed so many contracts with hospitals, with the private hospitals in London, to have free treatments in aesthetic hospitals for kids who are
Wow.
born with cleft lip, for people who have cleft lip. So it's absolutely free. If they're interested to find out these places, they can text me. And all these things, like when I promote my country, women from my country, and they all make me so strong. I mean, if I was, uh, let's say, stuck in my disability, I wouldn't even see other things.
Mhm,
And that's what I want to inspire and bring to everyone's life who has a disability, to not to focus on that. Life is much greater, and your inner world, your outward, is much bigger than a one disability that you were born with or you had it afterwards. It doesn't change anything, and it will never change. So let's just let's accept everyone, love everyone, spread love, and spread sincerity. That's what the
mhm.
world needs. Peace.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay.
Wow. And where people can find you, and where can they listen to your podcast? Yeah. Tell us.
So my podcast was on Spotify, but unfortunately now I'm signing a deal with one of the streaming platforms about the podcast. So copyrights will belong to me and the platform from now
Mhm,
on. So we are finalizing the second season, and as soon as we finish the third season, we'll release a 3 season podcast with video talk.
mm,
So it's gonna be 8 episodes each,
mm,
and and it's obviously it's on now on my Instagram. It's on certain smaller site platforms. The first season, I can send it. It's in Novruzi, Maria, and the podcast called Maria and Sofa. But it was one of my dreams to take my podcast to the level that where I can speak and share visually what you do, which I adore, and that's why I'm really working hard at the moment to share it on the best place where it can reach as much as possible,
mhm,
as much people as possible with the same needs. So me and my team, we've been working so hard to find the right platform, I think we are there. I'm not sure yet, so I cannot announce. But wherever it's gonna be on my Instagram, and we are trying to find the best one, not just because of the following popularity, but for easy access, easy reach, because I don't want to sell my podcast. I want it to be accessible for every single person in just one click. So hopefully soon it will be there. And I thank you so much again for inviting me. And I think what you do is just unbelievable. And we had this conversation that you are personally also in this process spiritually, which I admire. And I think when we are in these processes, it's also interesting for us to grow with our channels, because we do it for other people, but at the end of the day, we also change and we also grow. And it's, as much as it affects others, maybe some people think that we are just speakers, which is not. It's very personal, and I feel like for you it's very personal. And that's why, from all my heart, I wish all the best and all the interesting chats and conversations that you will have in future. It's amazing, and it's a growth. It's personal and public growth.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
So,
Wow, thank you. All right, but we haven't finished here.
oh, we
I
haven't.
have no, I
Oh, I
have three
thought we finished
questions.
this.
I have
Oh,
very quick three
okay,
questions, which I do like to every
sure.
guest. So those three questions you can answer with one word or one quick sentence.
Okay, sure.
So first one, what is creativity for you?
Expression of mind and thoughts. Expression of mind and thoughts, and finding a way which makes your mind and thoughts positive, because I feel like thoughts are language of the brain and feelings are language of the body. So if you find the right way to express your thoughts, you have a nice, it's you speak the nice language with yourself. So, and that comes for me through creativity. And I think there are many people like me, like us, who loves creativity. So it's important to find expression, the way of expression. It can be anything, but to be consistent with that way of expression and to impact it in your day-to-day life and try to share it.
Love it. Completely agree. Right. Second one. What is your current creative expression?
A podcast, speaking,
Nice.
speaking, chatting, and in front of behind scene both, because I feel like I speak more behind scene with my guests. Sometimes I do my podcast and I had a guest on Sunday. We had 2 hour chat before the podcast, and then we were sitting there. I was like, I wish we had camera before the podcast and the
Happens to me as
microphone.
well.
It was so sincere and just chatting and sharing. And why we need podcast nowadays? Because podcast is a great channel to reach millions. And I really support, like, maybe some people are against social media, but if it's used in a right way, that's a way of creativity and expression. So my current way of, as you said, back to your question, is expressing myself through my channels on social medias, where I speak for myself, for other people, and for women and disabilities.
Nice.
Yeah.
Thank you. And the last one, what the word flow means for you?
It gives me so much lightness. It gives me easy. For me personally, I've actually googled all the meanings of flow in vocabulary dictionaries of England and of each country before I came here. But for me personally, my sincere answer is probably uh, easy way of expression, without force and without any rules. No rules, like your own way of thinking and your own way of flowing. Like that's what means for me. It means for me something light, some like a cloud. Like it gives me only positive aspirations, and I feel like it's, for me, it's more psychological word. Maybe there, as I said, I've searched, there's so many meanings, but for me, psychological word means it's something that goes with a flow, which means for me going in an easy way without forcing anything and just believing in yourself and expressing yourself as you think is the best for you.
Wow, love. Thank you. Thank you. This
Thank
is
you.
amazing. Right. Thank you so much,
Thank you.
Maria.
Thank you
So
so much
nice to
for
have you here.
inviting me again.
Right. Thank you so much,
Thank you.
everyone, for listening.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.